Hi, my name's Sam Whitelock, and this is my top 6. My first moment is my first one. So in 2010, I actually missed selection for the All Blacks. An hour or so later, I got a phone call from Darren Chan, the manager, saying, hey look, come up for a couple of days. So I thought, cool, chucked a couple of things in a bag, got up to camp, got to experience and meet everyone. Long story short, was asked to be there for 2 days. Then I was told I'll come to New Plymouth to help out the squad and train, then got named on the bench. So within the space of a week, missing selection to being asked to play on the 23 was amazing. I never thought I'd get on. There's a whole lot of other guys there that hadn't played, so I thought they'd get on first, and always had that little bit of hope of actually getting on. It'd been wet all week, so as any rugby player or rugby person knows, that weather is a really good leveller and brings the scorelines closer. But got on with about 30 to go. I remember running on. I took off Brad Thorne, who I'd played a lot of rugby with that year at the Crusaders. High-fived him as I ran off. It was a pretty awesome moment to share that with him. Got to the first scrum, and I pretty much had the ideal start to international rugby. Went down to the scrum, they got free kicked, we quick tapped, and my first action of being an All Black was catching the ball and falling over the line and scoring a try.
5 metres in Island territory. Wepu delays the pass. Borich bursts into the clear. He's got support from Wepu. Wepu looking round, fires a back, and look at that! Can you believe that? Sam Whitelock has been on the park for a minute, and he's got himself a try.
Space of 10 days, the disappointment of missing to then scoring with the first touch of the ball was one of those amazing things, and I managed to score another try later on in that game.
Again, Whitelock. Oh, Sam Whitelock. Boy, there's a big future for this lad.
Definitely started out on the right foot. My next moment I want to talk about was my 96 game, and the only reason I know that is I was the 69th All Black captain. It was Aaron Smith that said to me, after I'd been told, it's your 96 and your 69th, just how the numbers kind of worked. But the reason it was so special for me was, yes, I was captain for the first time, but more importantly, it was my first one with my little brother. Luke was playing number 8. We were playing in Wales. Our other brother Adam and his wife Tiffany were there, plus mum and dad. So that test match has so many special things in it, but it also has some disappointment because it was a tight game. Wales were really getting in behind their crowd, who was singing, and anyone that's been to the Millennium Stadium knows that the atmosphere is unbelievable. And even talking about it now, I'm kind of getting the old goosebumps and the hair sticking up on the back of my neck. The game was tight, and I actually got yellow carded with about 12 minutes to go, and I knew I'd get about 2 minutes back on after my 10 minutes was up. The guys played really well and scored another try while I was off to push the game outside of that danger zone. But as I ran off and looked up at the yellow card, someone must have taken a photo of me, and for the next 2 years that photo was used on the Weet-Bix card pack. So little kids used to come up to me and be like, hey, can you sign this photo? And you'd have to smile and engage with the kids, but every time I saw that photo, it took me right back to some of those happy memories, but also that time where I did get it wrong. But thankfully the team pulled through and we came away with a good win. My next moment was in 2015 in the semi. We had this unbelievable performance against France, and yet again, it's another amazing moment. We were playing against South Africa, and the game was tight. And growing up, I remember watching Victor and Bucky's playing for South Africa. At that time, they were the best locks in the world, best combination in the world, and they were destroying people through their line-out, their skill, their physicality, their awareness, their game understanding, their smarts. So to be put into that occasion and have a go at trying to stop what was their strength, and that was what was putting us under pressure. Their line-out was operating really well, their maul was awesome, our defence was up to the task, but we were hanging on. We'd been trying to get up and compete and win the ball rather than having to try to stop it on the ground. As the game got tighter, they went more to their strength, which was their line-out, and then eventually we had an opportunity, and it was right at that moment where the game was in the balance, not too long to go. I managed to get up in the air and take a ball off Victor, and that really changed our momentum going into those final stages of the game. At the time, I didn't really know it was the moment, but It was one of those things now I look back at and go a long way from where I started to where I had got to at that stage of my career. Being able to influence the game in that way against some of the best players that have played the game, and is very humbling now when I look back at it and when I think about it. My next moment is a pretty easy one to talk about. It was my 100th Test match played in Sydney.
And a special night for number 5, Sam Whitelock. Most cap All Black lock, 82nd start. It's his 100th cap for New Zealand. The man from the Crusaders, 29 years of age. Guernsey, what a great warrior he has been for the All Blacks.
Really one of the unsung heroes of the All Black side. You know, locks generally don't get massive raps. They're doing all the hard work. Just a wonderful footballer.
It's a memory for myself it sounds a bit funny. For me, I probably didn't have as much fun as all my friends and family that travelled to Sydney. They were catching up, having coffees, going out, experiencing all the cool things about Sydney. But for myself, it was all about the game, which it had to be. And it's quite cool hearing them talk about the week they got up to. But for myself, it was all recovery, learning my role, making sure I was in the right headspace, because my phone was going absolutely crazy. Pretty much had to turn it off towards the last couple of days, just because the messages of support and congratulations was overwhelming. And that's one thing I always say to people now, whether you're playing a milestone game, as a player you have to be aware of what it's going to mean. So for me, it was actually a relief to get to the game and get out there, and felt like I played pretty well. But it was pretty awesome after the game to have my wife and my son, Fred and Hannah, there, mum and dad, all my brothers, and friends and family, in-laws, etc. And it was probably the first time I've actually had all those people to one game together. So it was really nice to share that moment with them and actually just reflect on what they've done to help me go out there and perform, because a lot of people forget it's not just the player out there, there's all these people in behind that support you, but also share that moment with Tim Perry, who played his first Test match, same age. Just shows it doesn't matter how long it takes for someone to get there, that dream is still alive. So really nice little moment to share between Tim and I. My next moment, one was actually, I flew under the radar quite a lot, but it was a really nice moment for me just to slow down and actually allow someone else take all the attention away, which is exactly what I needed. So when DC played his 100th game against England, it was actually my 50th as well. No one would remember that, because one thing that sums it up, both of us had to do media that week, and both of us sat down, and I reckon there would have been 100 questions, and 99 of them went towards Dan, and then got to a stage where Dan was feeling the heat, and he's turned around and said to everyone, hey, this is Sam, he's playing his 50th this week. I think I got one question about a liner and then went straight back to him. So really cool and humbling moment to share his massive day of playing 100 Test matches with him. So that was one moment that I definitely look at, and he wasn't trying to do it, but just the man he was, he took all the pressure off me so I could actually go out there and worry about myself. The next moment for me is another moment where everyone sees the end product, but for me it was the lead up to it. So I'll set the scene. We'd lost to Australia before the 2011 World Cup.
It's full time and they have won the Tri-Nations. A 10-year drought has been broken.
Playing them in the semi-final, they've come to the other side of the draw, which was not expected. The whole country was going crazy. Digby Ioane caught a clearing kick that we didn't kick out. We were meant to kick it out. I've missed the next tackle, and then Jerome stopped, manhandled him, stopped him from scoring.
Strong, almost to the line. Kano's manhandled him.
For me, I was the guy that missed that tackle, so I remember after the game, side next to Jerome and saying, thank you for tackling him, because I was the guy that missed him at the start. So that was one of the little moments in that game, but the game in general, the atmosphere, the pressure of being at home during a World Cup, being one of the younger players of the squad, being entrusted to go out there and perform on the greatest stage, was just one of those moments that the crowd was chanting. Both teams played exceptionally well. The pressure was as high as it can be. So that's definitely one of my favourite moments, and you've always got to trust your teammates. It was the 2015 World Cup final. We had an awesome semi, awesome quarter-final against South Africa and France respectively. Felt like we were in really good control, and it's amazing how your mind instantly goes to the negative or the what if. Adam Ashley Cooper and Drew Mitchell went to cut the ball, and I was pretty knackered at the stage. It'd been a big tournament, massive game, and I've chased across and I've done the old 1-2 cut. As they've been doing that, I've dived to tackle, and it's just one of those things in the game that happens. As I've dove, I've realised I've got it wrong, and I've kind of turned in the mid-air because I'm worried that they're going to score and the game's going to go to overtime or they're going to win the game. As that's happened, because I've looked, my legs have been where I've left from where I've dove from. He's come in, he's dropped the ball and he's hit my legs. So for me, I'm instantly thinking, and this is not what I've tried to do, but because he's run into my legs, I've kind of thought, have I like foot tripped him here? Ball's bounced.
Given away, Ben Smith.
Bender's kicked it.
Barrett is chasing. He's got Pocock for speed. This is Bowden Barrett, control this, and the cup is his.
Bodie's ran and scored, everyone's jumping over each other one.
And it's history, confirmed. Back-to-back World Cups.
Not even the fantastic Drew Mitchell can break that defence. And then, who is it that's tracking back? It's Pocock, but even he can't stop Bowden Barrett going over for what is deserved the winning try and retaining Rugby World Cup.
For myself, there's that little tiny bit inside me going, is this referee going to pull this back and I'm going to get red-carded in the World Cup final, one of the biggest moments that I've always wanted to be a part of? Have I cost not only myself, the team, the country, the opportunity to win it? They're going to go back, I'm going to get red-carded, they're going to score a try, etc. So my mind went straight to the 1 or 2% of, this is all my fault, all those things. DC must have been pretty relaxed because he's down the other end kicking off the wrong foot, enjoying all the moment, where I'm still stuck in the, hey, keep going, let's go, hurry up, don't muck around, the ref might check it or whatever it is. The whole time knowing that I haven't foot tripped him, but it was just that feeling of he's ran into my leg, knocked the ball on. Final whistle goes, forget about all those things. It wasn't until a couple of days later someone goes, have you seen the final? I said, no, I haven't watched it, but watched it a couple of months later and saw that moment, and that's the moment that came back to me in my head. So it's amazing what you think of, but the big thing I took out of it is actually trust my defensive skills, don't chase the wrong man and tackle the right man, and it'd be all good.